Hi, Kevin Blanch. I wanted to hike up here so I get some good perspective up here. I got all the way up here, forgot my tripod, so bear with me, I had to tie it into a tree. I've been working on a book for 11 years about my father and about the atomic veterans. I've done some serious research. I've been involved with the Justice Department, my senators, Hatch, Bennett, my congressman here in Utah, Bishop. My father, I wanted to hike up here and get some perspective and lay this out. I've been working on this book. I've got all my research done. I started writing it a while back. I've got into it the last few weeks. I'm going to finish it. A couple weeks I'm going to be done. I'm halfway through it. I've compiled everything. It's formatted. I'm just writing it now. But anyway, my father was named Dwayne Blanch. He's an atomic veteran. I want to get some background here. This is Utah where we're at. Right there where you can see those mountains out there, that's the Great Salt Lake. Panoramas all the way across here. Those mountains right there on the other side, that's Nevada. Right there on the edge of the lake right there is where I live, and that's where my father lived. He was drafted in 1951 or 52. Drafted Marine, the only one drafted out there. Like I said, bear with me on this thing. Well, anyway, I'll give you some background on his family. I wanted to get a day where the wind was blowing across here and we could see this. He was an atomic veteran. He was nuked in the Nevada test site. When he was drafted into the Marines, there was a group of brothers. His older brother was named Harold Blanch, enlisted World War II, 17 years old, stood on Omaha Beach on D-Day, fought in the Battle of the Bulge. He's all over the website. He's still alive. My dad's younger brother, Claude Blanch, one of the very first fighter pilots in Nam, turned down a contract in the NFL to go into the Air Force as an officer. That's the kind of guys. Well, my uncle has helped me do this research. He was stationed at the Pentagon for years and years and years. My father, my mother used to say, looked like Elvis with muscles. This is a man who never had a cavity in his life. My grandma said he never had a sick day in his life. Well, and he was Semper Fi to the death, and I mean Semper Fi to the death. When he died, he had a safe. And in that safe, he had every research piece of article ever written on this subject, with details. He talked to me as he was dying of leukemia and told me these stories. Like I said, this is a man who would have lived to been 100 easy. Didn't smoke, didn't drink. I mean, this guy was in such perfect health. He had the body of a 20-year-old. He had the, I say it like this, he had the wit of Mark Twain. He had the mind of, and the humor of a Johnny Carson. He had the intellect that was so strong and so powerful, and he's a very compassionate man. But anyway, as we lived here, he was drafted. Pendleton, they call them Hollywood Marines. He said they got him combat ready for Korea, had him on boats in the ocean. In the middle of the night, turned the boats around, trucked him to the site. Well, anyway, the test that he was in, they put him in trenches, was some of the tests actually killed people at the site. He was in that test. He was blown all to hell. Woke up in a hospital in San Diego. Critical condition. This went on for years. As I was a boy, in and out of the vet's hospital for 3-4 months at a time. You know, coming out, he'd have amnesia for a long time. They fed these guys LSD after it. They fed these guys iodine. Like I said, I've been working on this book for 11 years. He got sick in '99. A bee stung him, working out on his farm. Went to the hospital. I mean, this, like I said, this is a man with never a cavity, never a sick day. You know, he recovered from the blast. He didn't talk much about it. He was Semper Fi to the death. This is a man who refused morphine on his deathbed. They chemoed so hard it burned the brown pigment out of his eyes, blistered his freaking tongue, never shed a tear. I watched him put him in the body bag. I was so outraged about everything that he told me, and like my uncle was outraged, really high brass at the Pentagon. He's helped me research it. So I went to Hatch. I went to Bennett. I went to Rob Bishop. I went to the Bush Justice Department. I remember Bush had given a speech after he stole the election saying that how he was going to open this back up. Not only they spit in my face, my father got no benefits, my mother got no death benefits, he got no medals, he got not one penny, nothing, zero. So I was outraged. So I dug in, I have photographs of him right after the blast, the hospital. Justice Department send them all in, death certificates, birth certificates. We had a very, very sophisticated leukemia doctor was treating him at the university. We have one of the best leukemia units in the world right here at the Huntsman Center. She was treating him. She got involved. The Justice Department did nothing. Bishop lied to me, that fat ass, hamburger eating, hide in his basement piece of shit. Hatch, they lied to me. They all lied to me. And then this asshole in Hawaii's got the nerve to put up a video. I watched these congressmen grandstand for votes in the West. Scott Matheson, Jim Matheson, 2nd District in Utah, won't even email me back. These people lied to me, lied to my face, lied to my widow mother. Well, anyway, I documented every piece of it. Not only did they stole my pictures, my dad's photos, they stole them. I got copies. But anyway, this went on to Bush, he didn't care. He didn't care. Well, after Obama got elected, here comes a big envelope from the Justice Department, this thick. And I'm like, oh God, what have I done now? I'm in trouble. I opened it up and it was all the documentation. They just cleared out files, sent them back. So I've gone back. I can't even get Hatch, Bennett, Bishop, my congressman, his to even email us back. But anyway, my father was a very intelligent man. He kept serious documentation. I have researched this for 11 years. I documented the stories he was dying by his bedside for 11 months. I've been writing a book about it. I had his uncle, his younger brother, who turned down a contract with the NFL to go there. This is the type of guys. My father was drafted. He was Semper Fi to the death. To the death. Very proud Marine. You know, he wouldn't have accepted any money or a medal even if they offered, but this is about respect and telling the truth. Anyway, my book is about done. Like I said, I wanted to hike up here to get some perspective. I'll show you guys. Oh, it's a beautiful, perfect day for this because the wind rolls across here. On the other side, Nevada, that's Wendover, Wells. If you go straight that way, Reno on the other side of this mountain. Southern Utah that way. The Nevada test site's down that way. But as the wind blows, you can see how the wind's blowing. Well, our snow's wet. Anyway, it blows across this desert. And it's ironic that he lived there. So we go across here, and it killed all the downwinders. So what Congress did, they took out a line and drew it at Joab County. So everybody on this side gets some money, because the children who played in the schoolyard died. Our great governor, we had a great governor, Scott Matheson, Democrat in the 80s. He died. He was a downwinder. He was a great governor. I love that guy. He was heavily involved in this cause. He did a lot. And the so-called St. Louis fire, you know, they all burned, disappeared. But there's 40,000 of them. But there was a small group of them that were in the trenches that killed them at the trenches and went critical condition after. They told my grandmother that he'd hit with friendly fire and a mortar in Korea. They told him all kinds of BS, you know, just lied. I've done research. They fed those guys LSD after. No bullshit. Iodine. He said he put his hands over his face like this in the trenches. No head, you know, that helmets. That's it. No gas mask, no nothing. He said he could see his bones flash through his hands. Like I said, you want to talk background on this guy, we're talking the most integrity, freaking honest, freaking hard-working man that ever walked. I don't think he ever told a lie in his life. Looked like Elvis with muscles, you know, and it was a horrible, tragic thing. They guinea pigged him right to the death. But I've been working on this book for a long time. It'll be out next month. Kevin Dwayne Blanche. His name was Dwayne Blanche. I have a new little grandson coming from his daughter named Annie. What's ironic, I named her middle name Annie. My dad's grandma lived out there, early Mormon immigrant. Her name was Annie. I named her. The test where these guys were killed was named Annie. I didn't know that until I was doing my research. Life comes full circle, but no medals, no respect, no nothing from nobody. Not a politician, not the military, not a popular. My widowed mother, nothing. Nothing. Not a thank you, not a letter, not nothing, whatever. Not a penny. Semper